If I traded it all, if I gave it all away.
Welcome back, everyone. I am so excited about bringing on my next guest. He's going to be teaching us a lot, and I can't wait to have him on. I have with me Garvey Biggers, and he's from the Garvey Biggers Law Firm. We are live on Facebook, so I want to say hi to everybody out there. Again, like us and follow us. We're going to be sharing the show afterwards. Garvey, you have been on my show once before. We're now going to have you a few times more, but I want to talk a little bit about what you do, the kind of attorney you are, and what makes you different.
Well, so I've been doing the personal injury business for 33 years, I think now, and did a lot of work for insurance companies for the first 27 years.
Are you from here?
I am from here.
So you've been doing that here all that time?
All that time.
Wow.
And I was raised here and went to grade school here, high school here, college in
Not many of you like that.
College in Flagstaff at NAU, and then law school at the University of Arizona, and then got out of school and came here and started practicing what we call in the personal injury business insurance defense work, and that is where insurance companies hire you to defend the people that are alleged to be negligent. And so I did that for 27 years and then completely switched horses and now am representing only injured victims.
Okay, so what do you mean by that when you say only injured? Because there are a lot of people out there that don't get that, okay?
Yeah, and it's understandable. So when you have insurance and you get in an accident, and if you are the cause of the accident, an insurance company will hire an attorney to defend you. And so that's what I did for the first 27 years. If a product hurts you, they have insurance. If you get hurt on a premises and slip and fall at a local Safeway or Bash's or Fry's or something like that, they'll have insurance that will defend them. So they'll hire an attorney to defend them. And then what happens is a lawsuit will have already occurred, and the defense attorney will step in. And so that's what I did for 27 years, is defend people who are alleged to be negligent. Sometimes they were, sometimes they weren't.
Mm-hmm. It all depends. It's all about the case.
It is.
So you have to talk to them, right? And you get to talk to them as a free consultation. How do you work with people?
So the difference between what I used to do, defending insurance, insureds, we would say, more than insurance companies. I was paid by insurance companies to defend their insureds. Right. Now I just represent the injured victim. And so a big part of my job is, of course, when a person calls, is to kind of walk through and explain to them, just because you were in an accident, it does not mean that your case is worth anything, because sometimes it's 100% your fault, or it's sometimes you got hurt on the job and the laws of Arizona preclude you and prohibit you actually from suing your employer or a co-employee if hurt on the job. You get workers' comp coverage automatically, but you cannot sue for a personal injury per se if you get hurt on the job. So I explained to some people, hey, look, it looks like it was your fault. You ran the red light. or right. Sometimes somebody said you ran the red light, but you really had a green light. So then we talk about it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so that's my biggest part of my job is screening up front. Hey, is this a valid claim?
Right, and it's all about that. Now, what we want to talk about, which is what makes, right now, your law office different than some of the big firms out there.
So I do virtually no advertising, unless you want to call this advertising, but I like to talk to people. I do, my son, my daughter, my nieces, they all say, hey, you need to get up to speed. You need to join the 21st century, at least by the end of 2019. And so I'm committed to doing some social media kinds of things, if that's advertising. But you're not going to see my mug on the side of any. Well, if you look at it, you'll see why. But I won't put it on a. I won't put it on a. I won't put it on a billboard on the side of a bus. I don't do that, and therefore, I have a different business model than these big, heavy advertisers do.
Mm-hmm. Well, too, what I like about this show, too, is that it's informational. So, because I want to go more narrow and deep on, different kinds of cases, and I think that's what makes this not as much as just the advertisement of what we talked about.
Yeah, and so, for me, again, it is on a personal basis, so, like, I would say 99.99% of all my cases. I mean, there's a 1% maybe that come in through some kind of social media or something like that. But by and large, people come to me because they've heard of me, or they know somebody that has, come to me in the past, and they want a close, personal, one-on-one experience with their attorney, as opposed to a paralegal or a inexperienced attorney handling their case.
Right. Now, here's the question. There's a lot of people out there that actually try and do their own cases. What is the dangers of somebody that is actually trying to do their own case?
There are dangers. There's a lot of dangers.
I can't even believe anyone would try that, but...
Oh, no, people try it all the time because they think that they're going to save the attorney's fees and that percentage, because I do all of my work on a contingency fee. So every day I go to work, it's just like going to Las Vegas. For me, it's a gamble because I'm investing in your case. I put up the money for it, and I only get paid if I collect. And that can be in 90 days, 120 days, or 3 years from now. You never know how long it's going to take. And you never know how long the insurance company on the other side is going to want to fight it. And so I'm always investing in the case. And it's a very risky business to be in. That's why the screening process is so important. And the dangers of trying to handle it on your own, and some people try to do that. They'll answer all the insurance company questions. An insurance company will tend to call you within 24 hours. You'll give a statement, and you won't realize that it's a little bit like talking to a police officer after you had a beer or two, and everything you say, right or wrong, will be used against you by the insurance company. So that's one of the dangers right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what they're there for. They know what they're doing.
Sure, and they're going to collect as much information and then try to twist it when you cannot explain how the accident occurred. And a lot of people just don't specialize in articulating or speaking, and so then it's being recorded, and then you have to live with that forever and ever. It's like an admission against your own interest when you do that. So I don't. So I always recommend, hey, get an attorney on board. Protect that statement. Go off the police report, and get that behind you, and get that under in the hands of your attorney. And then, if you're hurt, go get your treatment. For instance, sometimes people will say, the adjuster will call you 24 hours and say, "Are you hurt?" And you'll say no, but you're really interested in getting your car back on the road. Well, when you said no, he didn't know the next day you wouldn't be able to get out of bed. And all of a sudden, you can't move. So you need to go to either physical therapy or chiropractic. You need to go get some x-rays, some MRIs, if you didn't go to the emergency room on the day of the accident. And so this is quite common, actually. And then somebody will say, well, you said on the day of the accident, at the scene of the accident, you didn't need an ambulance. You said to the insurance person the day after the accident, I wasn't hurt. When did you just? Oh, when you called Mr. Biggers, that he just, and so they'll flip it on you. Mm-hmm. And actually, you were hurt. That's why you called Mr. Biggers. So anyway,
the best thing to do is first call Mr. Biggers, and then maybe call I think everybody thinks, well, I got to call my insurance company and tell them what happened, right? And that's where they get in trouble, because they're going to ask questions right there.
Right there. And if somebody calls me and says, hey, Garvey, I wasn't really hurt, but I do have car damage. Okay, well, then you don't have a personal injury claim. You have a property damage claim. And we'll do it on a property damage claim, and I'll say, don't try to make a mountain out of a molehill. If you're not hurt, save it for later. You know what I mean? Because maybe one day when you are seriously hurt.
Absolutely. Now, let me get some information out, okay? You're at 3rd and Earl in Midtown Phoenix, but basically you can help anyone in the state of Arizona, you told me.
Right. I'm at 3rd Street and Earl in Central, what I call Midtown Phoenix. I've been in that area of town all 33 years. I handle cases in literally every county of the state.
And you do free consultations always?
Always free. It's always free until we collect for you.
You are also A+ rated with the BBB, and also 5-star rated as well.
5 stars. 5 stars. We have to work really hard to be 5 stars. Actually, I have no complaints with the Better Business Bureau.
Right. Now, let me just get out this information, because you know what? Here's the thing. You could be driving right now and get in an accident, and something bad can happen. And it doesn't even just have to be that. There's a lot of things, and when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about some of the different kinds of things. It's not always just an accident or a slip and fall on a banana peel, right?
Correct.
So again, we've got his phone number is 602-241-8550. His website is GarveyBiggersLawFirm.com, and we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit further about some of the different things that you can do to help them, and give them some information about some things that they never even thought that you could take care of. Again, that number to call them, write it down. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 602-241-8550. The website is Garvey Biggers with an S, lawfirm.com. So welcome back, everyone. And we're talking with Garvey Biggers from the Garvey Biggers Law Firm. Garvey, there's so many things that you've been here for 33 years, and you have been doing a lot of personal injury, and there's a lot of different types of things. The first thing I want to talk about, though, is for people to understand liens and what a lien is. This is interesting, guys, because it plays into your if you have a, what is it called now? I just lost it in my mind.
So
if you have a case, it plays into your case.
Sure, yeah, it plays into whether you have a case or a valid case. But it also, when we left off at the break, we were talking about the dangers of handling your own case and trying to, be a little bit penny wise and pound foolish and not hiring an attorney. And sometimes you'll start off, and we talked about the mistakes you can make in giving a statement to the insurance company. But if you go to settle a case and the insurance company wants to pay you $500, $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, and you think, oh boy, that's all going to go in my pocket. Bad mistake, because this personal injury business now is filled with what we call lien holders, L-I-E-N, the type of liens that attach to a claim. They can come from health insurance policies that you get through certain employers. So if you're employed with a big company, oftentimes you'll have what's called an ERISA plan. It's like the Employment Retirement Insurance Savings Act of 1974, but this ERISA is a federal law, and they actually have rights to full reimbursement up to 100% of any and all recoveries until they're paid down to zero. So if you only recovered $5,000 and you thought you were going to get all $5,000, but the ERISA plan is owed $5,000 because of the
that money just went bye-bye.
Well, but you won't even know that after you spend it and it all goes in your pocket that you owe it. And then you'll go for your health insurance benefits, and you won't have any health insurance benefits until you pay it back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that can happen. I've heard of it happening. And then if the attorney that you hire doesn't know about whether it's an ERISA plan, and he divvies up the money and takes his fee and distributes to you, and they can actually come back after your attorney. ERISA is entitled to be reimbursed before attorneys or the injured party. So, but then what made matters worse, and we talked a little bit about the last time I was on your show, was how hospitals have gone down and convinced the legislators that they're entitled to the difference between what the health insurance paid them and the full amount of their bill. So Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare will pay them, say, $2,500 on a $10,000 bill. Well, the hospital come back after you for the remaining difference of the $7,500. You didn't know that. Oh, they actually filed a lien down at the Maricopa County Recorder's Office. Oh, you can't sell your house now until that lien is paid, but you don't even find out about it till 5 or 6 or 7 years later. Wow. If you have an attorney, we do those checks for you. We satisfy those liens for you, and we argue like the dickens against the hospitals. And then there's emergency room physician. Almost every chiropractor will have a lien. Radiologists will have a lien. And so the liens, everybody's got their finger in the pie trying to get a piece of the action. And so 50% of the battle now is not just with the opposing insurance company of the negligent driver or the negligent premises owner or the negligent product manufacturer. The battle is also with the lien holders.
Well, the phone number to call them, you never know when you're going to need it. It's 602 241-8550. His website is GarveyBiggersLawFirm.com. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and 5-star rated as well. They work on a contingency basis, and it's so free consultations. And here's the thing, guys, you got to have somebody who's experienced, and you've got 33 years of experience. I want to talk before we go. I know you probably want to say something, but I'm going to remind you that we want to talk a little bit about these the gun cases that you work with.
Well, so I've been, I don't know if you call it fortunate or whatever. I have been involved and had been hired by people that had loved ones, unfortunately shot. And I had one feller last couple years, he was hiking South Mountain on a trail, on a marked trail, and got shot from somebody who was shooting in a gun range that is located actually at the base of South Mountain, and they shoot directly into South Mountain, and the bullets fly into the park. And my client got shot while hiking on a trail, went down and got shot right through the leg. That was one gun case. I handled another type of gun case where a kid was at a party he was at a party 3 years ago. We tried the case, got a rather substantial verdict in October of 2018, just last year. And that feller, this is a kid that was shot by another boy who advertised all over Facebook, all over social media, with his cache of guns. His parents knew he had the guns. He lived at his parents' house, and they were drinking. There was alcohol involved, and he pulled a gun out, and whether playfully or intentionally, it was never really fully determined the motive behind it, but he held a gun very close to this kid's back of his head and blew his head off, and that was my client's son. And so we tried that case based upon homeowner's premises liability. Right. And so then there was insurance coverage for that, and we collected. So there's been a number of gun shooting cases I've done over the years. Sometimes a gun will be sold defectively, in a defective condition, from a store. And so, there's just all different kinds of, we hear more and more gun accidents, gun shootings. Everybody has a gun, whether or not they're properly trained to handle a gun, whether they've done the NRA classes. NRA, many people may be against NRA. NRA does a lot of good work with guns and teaching gun safety, and I have a NRA manual actually for not only the way a gun range should be designed, and I've handled gun range cases, so that was another part of what that case was about, with the proper design of a gun range and to eliminate ricochets and this sort of thing. And then there's instructors out there that have to be properly trained. So but NRA gives out these courses, and you don't have to be some yahoo who owns a gun. You can actually take the NRA course and have some safety training and eliminate the likelihood of a gun shooting.
Well, there's a lot of different cases. We're going to be glad to be having you back to be talking about some of the different ones too that you do. These are fascinating. It really is, and thank God that guy didn't get hurt. I feel terrible for that boy, and bad things happen sometimes. And this brings into this point to end it with this. Why is it that people think that it's morally wrong to file a lawsuit?
Well, that's a good question. So I've had a lot of different types of people come in and ask whether or not it's biblically acceptable to make a claim, and I explain to them the legal process, and that if you believe that the country was based upon some religious morals, it's recently been declared by the Arizona Supreme Court, you don't have to ask for a jury trial anymore at the beginning of a lawsuit, because you have a God-given right to a jury trial. Well, if you have a God-given right to a jury trial in all civil cases, and that's by the United States Constitution and the Arizona Constitution, if you have a God-given right, I don't know how you can say it's immoral.
Right.
I
But
mean, that's how I answer that. I answer it with our Constitution, and
Right.
and then if you look at the scriptures, if you look at the religious authorities, yes, you're supposed to try to resolve your claim without a lawsuit, but sometimes these insurance companies who are supposed to be paying a fair, good amount don't want to do so. So then you have to resort to the legal system. And you have to do it honestly. You have to do it with integrity. You have to do it where you're entirely consistent in your story. And if you're not, the system is designed to ferret that out and to find the dishonesty. All of our claims, we like to think that we screen them good at the beginning. Sometimes there's some surprises along the way. Sometimes people forget about their medical history, that they maybe had a backache in the past, and then we talk about that. Is that morally wrong? Well, sometimes you just forgot. But we like to think that we do the right thing.
It certainly
at the Garvey
sounds
Biggers
like
Law
it.
Firm.
Absolutely, it sounds like it. You've been doing this for 33 years.
33 years.
And right here in Arizona. And this is the kind of thing that you never know when something can happen to you, and you do have a God-given right for many things, not just that, but this is one of them where it comes to play. And when something like this happens to you, you want to have somebody who's experienced like Garvey is. The number to call him is 602-241-8550. The website is GarveyBiggersLawFirm.com. He can help anyone in the state. He's A+ rated, 5-star ratings with a Better Business Bureau. Again, that number is 602-241-8550. It's GarveyBiggersLawFirm.com.